Hey everyone, Bob Thibodeau here. Welcome to another episode of Ask Bob. I've helped many people over the last few years to start their own podcast. In that regard, I remember I was active one time in Facebook groups and just helping out with some podcasting tips. And someone commented, you're like the Yoda of podcasting. And then someone else chimed in, and well, long story short, I got the nickname of the podcast Yoda. Now, in this series of posts, I answer your questions about podcasting. I'll provide insight into some of the more common questions I've received about podcasting. And I call this section of our podcast training program Ask Bob. So if you have a question on podcasting, send it my way. I'd recommend you subscribe to this platform so that you'll be updated every time another question is answered and published. Now, you can ask me a question, any question you might have on podcasting, by going to our website at podcasttraining.com, click on the little contact form at the top and fill it out. If I use your question in a video or on a podcast, I will give you a shout out for it, and I will send you free a download of my book, The Complete Guide to Podcasting. This is a $37 value, and you'll receive it for free just for sending along your questions if I use it on the Ask Bob program. If you have a podcast or website, put it in the actual comments section as well, and I'll give your podcast or website a plug. And so ask Bob whatever question you may have concerning podcasting. Now, last time we looked at why do you want to have a podcast? We're covering this section right off the bat. Many people in business are wondering if this is something they should pursue. They wonder, is it difficult to do? Is it complicated? Is it cost efficient? What am I going to talk about? Will anybody listen? How do I build an audience? And these are all valid questions. They're also questions many people have if they're considering starting a podcast. So let's take a few minutes and we'll start answering these questions for you. Today, I'm going to cover the question, is it difficult to do? Now, the quick answer is no, but there are some things you will need to pay attention to in order to produce a quality product. If you do not have a quality product in this day and time, your listeners will probably only end up being your family and close friends. If you want to expand your reach, you'll have to invest in a few pieces of equipment that will improve your quality. Now, if you're doing a video podcast, you will definitely need a camera. If you're going to use your laptop, you probably have a camera already built in. If you're using a desktop computer like I am, you can purchase a cheap camera that will sit on top of the monitor. The other option is to purchase an actual video camera, but this could be the most expensive option as well. For an audio podcast, you can use the microphone built into your computer itself, but it will also sound like you're using the microphone that's built into the computer itself. For just a small investment, you can purchase a headset and microphone combination. That will improve your sound quality and help you to stand out from those who are just using their cell phone or their computer microphone. That's how I started. I started off with my cell phone, just talking on the phone. Then I went to the microphone on the computer, and then I went to the headset microphone combination. Now, for a bit more, you can purchase a little better condenser microphone, such as a Blue Yeti or Blue Snowball. These work well as long as you stay close to the microphone. I've used a Blue Yeti for years, and you can see it right here, right? And I just upgraded it to a different one because the other one I had, it was several years, about 8 years old. So I figured it was time for a new one. So you can go ahead and do that. They're not that expensive. Now, if you truly want to go all out and to get the professional sounding quality, you can purchase a dynamic microphone. This style of microphone will only pick up sounds that are directly in front of the microphone, right? And if I was using a dynamic microphone coming back here, it'd be hard to pick up. So what you're hearing right now is the condenser microphone that I use. I would love to be able to use dynamic microphone. But what I'm doing right now, I think the Blue Yeti is working fine for me. Okay. Now, it's the dynamic microphones type of pictures you see in radio stations, where the DJ is speaking directly into the microphone, right? The microphones, the condenser mic will pick up sounds from all around the room. And basically, it is a room-style microphone, which sounds funny unless you're directly in front of the microphone like I am right now. So there you have a list of some of the equipment you'll need. Now, in the next video, I'm going to go over, is podcasting complicated? Now, if you find these videos helpful, just give us a rating and a comment below. That helps us to grow and helps others to find this information as well. Matter of fact, share this information. It's free. I'm putting it out there free of charge. So I want to thank you in advance for helping us to get the word out about podcasting. Now, over the course of these videos and the podcast episodes, I want to answer any questions you may have concerning podcasting. You can leave your questions in the comments section below, but a better way of communicating with me and making sure I'm able to see your questions rapidly is by using the contact form on the website. Just go to podcasttraining.com, click the little contact button, fill out the form, and send it to me. If I use your question on this podcast, I'll be giving you credit for bringing it to our attention, and you will receive the free download of my book, The Complete Guide to Podcasting. It's a $37 value, and you'll receive it absolutely free of charge if you send along your questions and they're used on the Ask Bob program. If you include your website or podcast information, I'll reference that as well and put your information even in the show notes of the podcast. Who knows? Someone may see it and you may see increased traffic to your website, your podcast, your product, etc., just from asking me a question. If I get asked the same question, then the first person to ask it will be getting the credit. So if you have a question, don't wait. Ask today. Just go to podcasttraining.com, and that podcast training is podcast-training.com. The link is in the show notes down below. Fill out the contact form. Be sure to subscribe to this podcast so that you'll be notified whenever a new episode is being published and a new question is being answered. And next episode, I'll answer the question, is it complicated? So come back and I'll talk to you soon. Matter of fact, in the show notes down below, you'll see a link to a free podcasting checklist. I'm giving this to everyone absolutely free of charge. Just click the link and you'll tell us where to send it to you. All right? So we'll talk to you soon. Now get out there and start podcasting.